World Tour racing has almost begun for this season, and so of course the ASO has already selected its Tour de France wildcards. This way, when the teams suck, we can just say, "Oh, we had no idea. We had not seen them race yet." The big story of the selections is MTN Quebec, the first African team chosen for the Tour de France, and a pretty good selection. Yeah, a little thin on results, but they've made some excellent off-season acquisitions. Assuming you think picking a team based on acquisitions and not results is okay. Though, hypothetically, if IAM Cycling hadn't made the jump to World Tour status, and had been selected as a Tour wildcard, you could argue that Heinrich Halser's win at Aussie Nationals was an actual result that played into the selection. But that is a lot of ifs, and none of them are actually true. The Women's Australian Road Race Championships were won by Peta Mullins, who almost immediately re-signed with Wiggle Honda for 2015. Apparently, she'd signed a contract with the team prior to the race, but then was having second thoughts and ended up doing it in a SRAM kit. Reading between the lines, it looks like the win didn't so much secure her a contract as let her get paid for occasional road appearances while she trains for Rio 2016 in mountain biking. The power of leverage through results also bodes well for Thomas Dekker, who's currently attempting to get a contract by setting the hour record and doing it at altitude to overcome some admittedly superior competition. But the Dutchman may not be ready for the boldest new frontier in performance enhancement. Fellow hour record hopeful Alex Dowsett crashed and broke his collarbone earlier in the week, then tweeted about asking the surgeon to take out a few extra centimeters to make him more aero. Continuing in the vein of apocryphal performance enhancement, the developer of a really expensive ketone-based energy drink says that it's been used to success by riders he can't name, from teams he can't name, at events he can't name. Which means the only thing I'm more skeptical of than his performance claims is this description in the headline as controversial with no follow-up in the text. Gold Star Cycling Weekly. Social fitness site Strava stumbled into controversy last week, announcing that for premium members, free basic training plans would be available from CTS. That is, Carmichael Training Systems. Carmichael, you may recall, famously didn't coach Lance Armstrong when he famously didn't win 7 Tours de France and is something of a punchline among serious cyclists. Still, with a name built on Lance and several other doping allegations settled out of court, Carmichael wasn't exactly welcome by many users on the site. But somewhat wistfully, I'm inclined to say that Strava doesn't really care. From end-of-year slideshows to resetting KOMs to NBD and geeky technical issues, I feel the site has really milked cool and competitive for all it's worth. It's now looking to expand through fuzzier notions of inspiration and affirmation to that lustiest of all VC wet dreams, the general public. It'll be sort of like when your mom joined Facebook. And I still use Facebook. Kinda. But the real polemic of the week has got to be US Cyclocross Nationals, which were cancelled and then just postponed because of trees. As fun as it was to make Crossnats cancelled due to mud jokes, a thorough and level-headed examination from VeloNews' Kaylee Fretz recaps as well as I ever could that it kind of was a perfect storm scenario. You can complain about poorly written pseudo-apologies or the vice president of national events having no real idea who he was talking with, but at the end of the day, USAC would have needed a tremendous stroke of luck to avoid this catastrophe. I'm not saying you can't complain about USAC. They did put 15-year-old girls on the line with 18-year-old boys and then gave the latter a head start. They crammed the week-long event with age group and non-championship races, meaning that any cumulative problems with the course would fall squarely on the only people whose IRL careers revolved around the results. They chose a venue and city that had never hosted a UCI race before. They set up a race course on a park sodded with sewage sludge compost rich in heavy metals that was apparently too noxious to be used to restore the trees that caused this kerfluffle in the first place. However, the point here is not to wail on USAC. I think, like Strava, the organization's current goals are really to scale up its reach rather than fine-tune its product for the current user base. To wit, USA Cycling just announced 2 new cities to host Cyclocross Nationals, at least one of which has 0 UCI race experience. But unlike Strava, which is, as any for-profit company, obligated to make money for its shareholders, USA Cycling's mission specifically states that growth should come with, quote, an exceptional customer experience. Plus, let's not forget the disaster that resulted when USAC tried to dry hump Lance Armstrong's pop culture relevance to, wait, what's that? Still somehow currently serving USAC President Steve Johnson? The entire industry benefited from that, and nobody has to apologize for that? It just happened? Well, I guess it's okay then. I mean, hey, if Carmichael can still get work. I'm Cosmo Catalano, and that was the week in bike.